Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Fire emojis in the chat box if you can hear me. Fire emojis in the chat box if you can hear me. Let me get this a little closer. I like the way it sounds when it's close to me. Get a little close to me. Fire emojis in the chat box if you can hear me. Happy Monday, people. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Let me pop my chat box out so I can see you guys. Let me pop it out. Put it on this page so I can see it. There it is. Pull it up. Make it a little bigger so I can see it. How y'all doing today? There we go. We got 1 or 2. What up, Nitro? What up, Nitro? What up, what up, what up, what up? What up, Brandon, Yolanda? I see you, Steven. Anon. What up? What's good? What's good? What's good? I appreciate you guys for coming through. Malik. What's good? What's good? What's good? Let's get this thing rolling a little bit. Let's start off by, doing our know the gang. Let's see who the know the gang was for last week. And let's dive right into it. Know the game for last week was our last show, Wednesday of last week was Steven, who joined us after dealing with a few things in his personal life. I appreciate him for jumping back in last Wednesday, then joining us early today. Steven, and then Jeremiah W, and then Brandon Bazell, who says he's going to jump in once a week for the Know the Gang, then he's going to jump out. So Wednesday was his jump in and jump out. So I appreciate you guys for jumping in. And if you're new to the channel, and if you're watching on the replay or whatnot, and all the Know the Gang is for guys, it's really YouTube doing its job for me. And it's the first 3 people to come in, you hashtag Know the Gang, and it's a way for me to know that YouTube is doing its job of notifying you guys when I put up the content, whether it be a live stream or when I put up anything. It's just a way of letting me know that YouTube is doing its job of letting you guys know that content is coming, whether it's live now or content is on its way. That's what the Know the Gang is. And it's really just a way to get a free shout out on the channel too. So everybody loves shout outs. I love shout outs on other people's channels. So that's a way to get a shout out on this channel. So back to me. But I appreciate everybody for doing that. And it's a slow time of the year. The roster's kind of starting to formulate and get its way out. And you can kind of see, what the topic of today is which edge defenders we can kind of join and find. But I want to kind of, before we get into it, kind of pivot a little bit and talk about something else that's kind of going on too. So if you don't know, and most of you already know, I have a second channel, and it's called More Sip the Talent. And so what I did is, and if you know, I haven't been putting a lot of stuff on this channel because I dove into a monstrous task of ranking every NFL team from 9 different positions. And I'll kind of put this up on the screen. And this is the thumbnail for what I started on the other channel. I ranked every NFL team for 9 different positions, and I averaged it out. And so there it's done, and I've started the process of putting it out there and doing the countdown, and you'll get the first episode tonight at 6:00. So in like 23 minutes, the first episode of that is coming out, and so it's a countdown from 31 to 1 of the top 32 teams based off me. So it's nobody else's opinion. This is me. It was a monstrous task. It took a while to do, and so that's gonna be starting on the More Sip the Talent channel. And Team 32 is up tonight, and it'll go all the way up until Team 1. So if you don't follow that channel, please go over there and do so. That's More Sip the Tally. And, I appreciate a follow over there. And because YouTube kind of lowered their monetization standards, That channel has the subscribers to be monetized, but it doesn't have the watch time yet to be monetized. And there's no doubt in my mind that once we get people on grass, that channel will have the watch time to be monetized. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. And if you don't subscribe to that channel, please go over there and do so, and just help a brother out. But that channel over there, we're for the streets. So if you like football, you like X and O's, once you get your fix for the Ravens and you just need something to watch and you just need some more football, you just want to learn more, go over there and do so. Again, before we get into our topic, another thing I want to show you. We got our newest Patreon. Our newest Patreon, P. Brown III, who's known on this channel and on Lunch Break Hot Takes channel as P. Brownie. but now we got it figured out, and his P. Brown III, but for at least a year on my channel and probably a year on LBHT show, he was P. Brownie. But now we know it's P. Brown III, and I appreciate him for joining the Patreon and being on the Sip the Tally Wall of Fame. So thank you for that. And let's kind of get into the topic for today. Which free agent edge guys should we sign? That's where we're going to go. And start with the Jane Doe coming up today. And what I need y'all to do is somebody get Jeremiah W. off the Jane Doe coming up today. He won last month's comment, and he's pretty much dominating every comment of the day. So, I know more people going to comment once we get to games and preseason games and stuff like that. But Jeremiah is dominating. So, he's on the way to dominating the wheel this month also. So, his comment up today is, let me make it a little bigger so I can see it. If I can make it bigger. We don't want to talk about Clowney yet. There we go. All right. He says, Houston is my favorite option. Talking about Justin Houston, who we had last year. But not the only, or maybe even the best one. I really like Robert Quinn. Roquan cried when he was traded. Clowney is a guy that I always liked. He should be able to slide into interior rushing roles and stay out there and get some of JPP rep. I forgot we had JPP last year, just that fast. If he doesn't get them himself. The defensive end position is stacked with good quality free agent opportunities. It is kind of like the running back market, only a few years of contracts later. But there seems to be a lot more guys who can play at a high level than there are places who need them at previous financial investments. And he is right about that. There are some quality guys out there. That they're probably going to wait until the season starts and see if a guy gets injured or see who's winning and then decide where they're going to go. That's what's probably going to happen. But let's get into the options that I gave you in the poll. If you don't know, there's a poll down there and it says which edge defender should we sign. And I got Clowney, I got Ngagwe, I got Houston, I got Robert Quinn. And I'm going to show you the stats of those four guys, and then we're going to get into the phone lines. So that's what we're going to roll into real quick. First up, Jadeveon Clowney. And these are only their stats from last year. These are only their stats from last year. We kind of know what, we all football fans here, and we kind of know what these guys have done historically. So we're only going to show you their stats from last year. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger. Jadeveon Clowney. And we all know what Clowney did in college that hit versus Michigan, that it kind of set him on this path to be the monster that he was, and keyword was. But last year he had 2 sacks, 28 tackles, 4 TFLs, 4 quarterback hits, 1 forced fumble. Nothing crazy. And what you'd think being paired with what's the Myles Garrett, being paired with Myles Garrett, you would have better numbers than that, you think, but he didn't. In the lineup, out the lineup, and the thing that really stands out to me is the game versus Lamar, when Clowney and Garrett, they just could not get a beat on Lamar, and Garrett just wanted to tip his hat to Lamar, and Clowney was obviously frustrated that he just could not get their hands on Lamar. Just could not get their hands on Lamar, and you just could see the frustration in Clowney's, like, his body language. But Garrett just went over there and shook his hands like, bro, you got us. So, but again, Clowney is a guy that's out there. He has his ups, he has his downs, but still, he's produced more than what we have on the roster, with the exception of maybe Bowser. And he may have, over his career, produced more than Bowser. I don't have the numbers right in front of me. Appreciate that, Steven. Steven dropped 25. He says, let me see what it says. It says, we can chat. I need 2 more people to donate 25 to max out of June, $100. Let's get it done for Coach. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Steven. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a whole lot. That's what we're trying to get to, the $100 for June. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Steven, for coming through. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Now I'll throw that back up there toward the end to make sure everybody gets Steven's message. We need more people to be like Steven. Steven's a leader in this community. I appreciate it. Let's go over to the second guy on the list, Yannick Ngakwe. Now, we had Yannick on this team once before, but I don't think the system fit him. I think more so now the system fits him because we are in a lot more even fronts where he can play in the 5 or the 7 technique, and he can get busy on the edge. Last year, 9.5 sacks, 29 tackles, 8 TFLs, 16 QB hits, 1 forced fumble. I can get busy with 9.5 sacks. Hey, and with the young guys on the edge, on the other side, and maybe rotating with him, hey, I'll take that. I'll take that and run with it. Again, he was here in Wink system, and Wink system really didn't fit him. I don't think so. He's not a 3-4 defensive end. He's not very good versus the run, in there tight with those tackles. Put him on the edge, let him hunt. Put him on the edge, let him hunt. He's a pass rushing guy. He's not a run stopper. Let him be the starter. Who's our young guy that was hurt last year? What's the kid's name? Ojabo. Let Ojabo be his backup. They're pass rushers. Neither one of those guys are run guys. Always more of a run stopper than both of these guys. Let them get out there and hunt. Let them get out there and hunt. All right. The third guy on this list, guy we're very familiar with, Justin Houston. Also 9.5 sacks last year. I wonder why he didn't get that last sack. We ain't going to talk about it right now. 21 tackles, 7 TFLs, 17 QB hits, 1 forced fumble. Similar numbers to Ngakwe. Similar numbers. If you look at them, very similar numbers. And we know, I don't know how many snaps Yannick had, but we know Justin Houston's snaps were very limited. Very limited. Very limited. So do we bring him back in a similar role? It depends on the money. I think Houston would be a lot cheaper than Ngakwe. I do. I think Houston would be a lot cheaper than Ngakwe. I know he's older, and I know he has a lot less wear and tear because he didn't play a lot of snaps last year. So you got to factor in money when you're looking at this too. But the production was similar. Production, looking at 9.5 sacks, 7 less tackles. But who cares about that? We looking at sacks. QB hits similar. Both 1 forced fumble. And the last guy on this list, then we get to the phone lines. Last guy on this list, Robert Quinn. Now, there's a caveat to Robert Quinn. You see him in the Eagles jersey. He was a extra piece in the Eagles jersey. He played for 2 teams last year. He was an extra piece. Only 1 sack, 10 tackles, two tackles for loss, 5 QB hits. And the reason I throw this out there, and I know I said we weren't talking about the year before that. The year before this, Robert Quinn had 18.5 sacks. He didn't forget how to rush the passer. He did not forget how to rush the passer. He did not fall off the cliff. He just, when they traded him from the Bears, and last year he just was thrown in. He was an extra piece where he was. But the year before this, with Roquan in Chicago, this man had 18.5 sacks. Who wouldn't take that? Who wouldn't take that? Did he fall off the cliff? I don't think so. So just cut that in half. That's 9.5 sacks again. And 9.5 sacks from Robert Quinn, that takes you back to 9.5 sacks. 9.5 sacks. Better than the 2 sacks Clowney had. So me personally, I'll take Yannick. Maybe Houston again. Now, I'll kick the tires on Robert Quinn. Not saying I'll take him, but I'll kick the tires on Robert Quinn. So me personally, if you asking me to pick, I'm gonna Ngagwe, Justin Houston. And if I got to pick one of the four, I'm going to take Houston because he's here. He knows the building. He knows the players. He knows the culture. I'll bring back Houston. That's it. If I got to pick a guy, if I'm voting in the poll down there, I'm going to pick Justin Houston with strong consideration for Yannick Ngagwe, depending on the money. If the money's similar, I may go Yannick because he's younger. If the money's similar, I may go Yannick because he's younger. But Houston kind of fits because he can get the most out of Matabike because he has a great relationship with Matabike. He's worked with Owe. He's worked with Ojabo. He knows the players. He knows probably what buttons to push to get them to motivate them. He can be an extra coach out there as well as going to get you maybe 6 or 7 sacks. Maybe. And you want a guy that's been there, that he's another leader. He's another leader that you can bring out there. So, but let's go to the phone lines real quick. Let's go to the phone lines and get this wrapped up. All right, let's see. Give me a minute to transition over. But I appreciate you guys again. Appreciate Steven for dropping that 25. Appreciate you, Steven. Appreciate it. And again, don't forget at 6, the first installment of my top 32 teams in the NFL will be premiering on More Sip the Tally, so don't forget about that. And if you're here, I think if it works right, when we end this stream, you will be redirected to that channel. If it works right. I tried to set it up that way. If it works right, you will be redirected to that. But let's get to the phone lines. P, you got me?
What's going on, Coach, man? Good to talk to you. Man. Missed you last week, a couple of days, but glad you're back this week, man.
It's all good. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Had an early day. It's the summertime. Relaxing a little bit. Not working as hard.
First off, appreciate you for joining the Patreon. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. I mean, I told y'all on the Monday calling show I was going to try to get on there. I'm going to try to get on just about everybody's Patreon at some point. Wanted to start with yours because you're one of the first people I actually started watching on YouTube outside of engraving. You two guys were the first 2 guys I started watching, so want to go in order, want to keep it in order,
Got it. And I'm definitely it's once we get, once practice and stuff start back, so I'll definitely go back to putting more stuff over there, but it's not just going to be like Patreon. It's going to be stuff over there. So it's going to be extra stuff that you get for doing that. And obviously, if you saw the message, you'll see kind of why I sent you the message to get you what I need to get you.
Okay, no problem. But for today's topic, when I first came on, my first choice was Clowney, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I said that, I was remembering back from some tape that you did on him or talked about him a while ago about, he's kind of lost his step. Of course, he's not the Clowney of old. And thinking about he may not be a great pass rusher anymore, but he's a good run stopper, right? Or at least that's what I perceive that people talk about and what I've heard about.
Mm-hmm.
But then, going through what we need, we want pass rush from our front four, and not having to drop more people in there. So then I dropped Clowney out. I'm with you. Justin Houston, first choice. Again, because we know the system, we know the culture. He has a relationship with a lot of the guys in there. Great veteran presence, another veteran presence on the defensive side of the ball. But then I gotta agree with you also with Yannick. A lot of people might not say him because he didn't do great the last time he was here, but I think that was the system.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just need pure pass rushers. Stop asking these guys, which I don't really recall us doing a lot of that last year in the new system, with these edge guys dropping back in coverage and all that kind of stuff. But like you said, put them out there. What I do every time I'm going to hunt the quarterback. That's it. If the ball carrier come my way, yeah, I'm going to get him, blah, 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 blah. But my first instinct is I'm hitting the quarterback. That's it. And I think, Houston and Yannick Ngakoue would be good. But what if we could get a Houston on a good deal, and then maybe not Yannick, but maybe get Quinn? You know what I mean? Because he did have that downward slope last year. His price point might not be as high.
Yeah, I think somebody said he was hurt. Joseph in the chat box said he's coming off an injury, so that may be his price point. His price point may even be lower if that's true.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You bring him in, and it's just for veteran presence, not so much as through the regular season, but when you get into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have these veteran guys that can play and hopefully coach up the rest of these guys. Once you get into those situations where you're in the playoffs and it's like, all right, guys, we need to stop. Like, we don't stop these guys right here. They get a field goal, game over, we going home. You know what I mean? To get into these guys' heads, coach them up, or be those people that's on the field that can recognize plays and be able to read and react a little better than the young guys can. If you got those, older veterans, you can use them down that kind of stretch. And then I want to throw one thing at you, Coach, and for the people in the chat box, kind of still on the same subject. A lot of people were saying that the guy Simpson that they drafted, right?
Trenton Simpson,
he might be Queen's replacement. But after watching the tape that you put out, what if he's always replacement?
Potentially. Could be.
He could be. Everybody keep thinking, he's going Queen. But you know how the Ravens, which even though I know we got a new defensive coordinator, but John, our head coach, they like to drag people and kind of switch them around.
Mm-hmm.
And from the tape that you put out there, you said he was better out on the edge than he was really on the inside, if I can recall it the right way.
You're right.
He wasn't that great of an inside linebacker. So what if he there to replace Owe? Not so much as Queen in the middle.
Right.
And especially since EBC came out and said they really want to re-sign Queen, which I think might be the deal. Now, I'm thinking I might get a deal for Queen 4 years somewhere.
See, from what I saw, he looked better in space playing like a nickel, and he looked better playing like the edge on the line of scrimmage. He didn't look very good playing in the middle like a traditional linebacker. He looked good rushing off the edge, and he looked good playing in space as like a nickel corner. His downfall looked, well, I ain't gonna say his downfall. His worst position looked like playing the position Pat Queen plays. So I don't like. Would he replace Owe? I doubt it. I think like he would come in, they would like slide Owe in to like rush against guards. So I don't think he would necessarily replace Owe. They would just like push Owe in to rush against guards and like do some special package stuff. But I think he's another versatile piece that McDonald can use, and I'm really excited to see what McDonald does with all these different pieces.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now since you said on that instance, and I don't want to try to keep you, I can go on for on. What if they got him to bring him in for just what you said? So now they can drop Kyle back and make him a true Roman safety.
I think that's what they trying to do anyway. But they gotta they gotta find a third corner though. They definitely got to find that third corner. Now, everybody keeps saying about the pass rush, and I like the topic, but you got to do one about corner too, because that's what I'm really kind of like. But what if Rock not even a good second corner? Then we really stuck.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm not even too sure. I know what's the dude's name? Rock Hussein.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing everybody about how his playing style is. He's real physical on the outside. He's not going to get you a bunch of picks, but he's going to get you, a short tackler. He's not going to get beat too much or whatever the case may be. But I don't know. I'm not sold on that second corner outside. And I'm definitely not sold on the nickel. But I can kind of understand what you're saying with Simpson in that role. And then Kyle, if they really want to drop Kyle back out of the box and let him roam free and be that athletic safety that they want, they need a third corner. I'm really not even sure about the second corner.
Right.
I mean, I would give Peters a second chance for the simple fact the man was coming off a not just a little injury, but a serious injury. He's a veteran. This is the year where they need not just all the pieces, but they need extra pieces.
Yep.
And to bring somebody back like that, same thing like with Houston, somebody that knows the system, knows the players that they're playing with. You know, this is your biggest investment year. If they go into the season with $300 in the cap, it is what it is.
Yep.
If they win that chip at the end of the year,
it don't matter.
All be worth it.
Exactly. If we negative 15 cents and we got a ring, it don't matter.
That's it.
It don't matter.
What I'm saying? Even if you bring these guys back on 1-year deals and saying, hey, look, we just going all in.
True. And
one more thing, and I'm gonna definitely hang up back to this coach.
All right.
I know we got OBJ.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got Bateman coming back. I know we drafted Zay. I'm still not 100% on the wide receiver room either.
Mm-hmm. You got Aguilar too now. You got Aguilar.
Say it again.
That ain't saying a lot, but you got Aguilar in there too.
Yeah, I mean, we got Aguilar. I know we got a lot of pieces, right? But two of those main pieces coming off of injury, right? Aguilar is Aguilar.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Outside of that, I know we got some other little undrafted free agents that, you know, they picked up for practice, you know, maybe not practice squad, but for camp.
Not to cut you off, we do have Lamar's cousin that's a cornerback too. I forget his name.
Oh yeah, it's Marcus something, right?
I forget his name.
Marcus.
So I
can't remember his name.
But we got that guy in the mix too. But go ahead with the wide receivers.
They got him and the guy and the guy that we drafted. So hopefully one of those guys will step up. We'll see.
Caillou Blue Kelly, yeah, we got him too.
Right. Well, so we'll see in preseason. Hopefully, you know, one of those guys will step up. Because I heard the two young guys from last year, both of them are injured or coming off of injuries or something like that.
Yep, both.
So, you know, the secondary, pass rush is a concern, but I think the secondary is a concern, and it's just for the same reason why we had to switch our offensive system around, is that the rest of the NFL is thinking and doing the same thing, right? So you got to have guys back out there that can at least stick to their guys for at least 3 to 4 seconds. In the NFL, at least 3 to 4 seconds, right? And that pass rush is going to be that much more important to try to lessen the quarterback. You can't give the quarterback 5+ seconds to throw the ball. Then you're going to get burnt.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what kind of corner
if
you are.
If you give him 4, you better be 2.5.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be some quick outs to the point where they know when they playing the Ravens, like, look, we got to do the quick passing game. That way you can drop guys back into these passing zones and get some quick picks. These linebackers can get some picks because they know that pass rush is going to be fierce. But out of the ones we do have, I really think that Ajabo is going to really, really step up this year. And I think maybe not in the beginning, but I think Owe might show us something a little different this year. I ain't saying he's going to have no breakout double-digit sacks or anything like that, but I think he know in the back of his mind, like, if I don't go out there this year and show out, it might not look too good for me.
Right.
It might not look too good for me. But, again, Coach, I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and hang up and listen to the rest of the show, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. Again, check your messages so I can get you what you need.
All right, I definitely will.
No doubt.
All right.
Hey, appreciate P for calling in on this Monday, and great conversation as always. Hold on 1 second. Again, so closing this poll out. Let's see who everybody voted on. Let's see what the results of the poll is. Which edge defender should we sign? So 42% Justin Houston. So we got 38 votes. So looks like The majority of you guys want us to bring back Justin Houston, with Clowney as 23%, Robert Quinn 18%, and Yannick Ngakwe 15%. So I appreciate you guys for voting in that poll. And again, hold on, let me close this out. Before you go, and I close this out again. This is premiering right now. It's probably 1 minute going on, so I'm going to close this out, and the film may redirect you to this. It's going on right now at More Sip the Tally. This is my countdown of the top 32 teams in the NFL. This is starting at team 32. This is going to be going on for the next 32 days, maybe skipping one day, probably the 4th of July. The next 32 days. So go over there and watch that More Sip the Tally. If you don't subscribe, if you haven't subscribed, please go do so. So I'm going to end the stream. You go over there and check that out, and be sure to come back at 9 p.m. Eastern time for the roundup. We'll be back tonight. Check us out there. So I appreciate everybody for coming through today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. You couldn't be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us.